Okay, so here we are. It's the last Anaheim vlog, finally. And, yeah, I'm talking about the trip home. So, the last day we were there, we had to pack everything up. So basically, we just threw everything in the bag and get out of the hotel. So, we were really early getting to the airport. We had an adorable Uber driver who was this old man who did not trust his Uber map. So he had to get his OnStar to give him directions to the airport, which was really funny. And he he asked us where we were from, so we're like, oh, well, we're from Alabama. So he immediately turned it to like a country station. It was like, okay, don't really like country, but sure, whatever. Just get us to the airport, please. So get to the airport, get through security, no problems, of course. And we had to wait there for a while because it was, I think we got there like 2 hours early. So we had time to eat in the airport and had time to kind of browse around every freaking inch of the airport. But yeah, finally it was time to board the plane. So we start boarding the plane and it's going a little slower than normal, but we're like, okay, well, that's not a problem until we get toward the front of the line and we start hearing the people in the airport talking about the flight and how the hot weather might mess things up. So from what I understand, if it's too hot outside, then the airplanes need more runway before they can lift off. I don't know if this is true or not. This is just what I heard. This is just what I overheard. But they have to have more runway before they can lift off. And I guess the airport that we were at, the runway was not long enough. So they, that paired with the fact that when it's hot, fuel expands. So all of this mashed together meant that since it was 103 degrees outside, they couldn't put as much fuel in the plane as they needed to get us to Houston. So, they were like, oh, but it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We're going to make an emergency stop in Phoenix so that we can refuel. So we were like, oh, okay, I guess that works, except that we're already running late because you've taken so long to tell us all this information and to get everybody boarded that we're already like 15 minutes later than we were supposed to be. And our layover in Houston is only an hour. And if we're gonna have to stop in Phoenix, that's gonna tack even more time onto the flight. And are we even gonna be able to make our connecting flight in Houston? Sure, you're totally going to be able to make your connecting flight in Houston. Why wouldn't you? So, they say everything is going to be fine. So we go ahead and get on the plane because what else are we going to do? Sit in California for another night? No. So, we get on the flight. So we get in the air, we get to Phoenix, everything's fine. We sit there for like 15 minutes refueling. We're already late. We're already running late. And it takes a while for a plane to actually land and for a plane to get a place to taxi out and get a place in the line to taxi out and lift off again. So, yeah, we were going to be cutting it really close. Like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. So it went from a 1 hour layover to a 5-minute layover. And there was nothing we could do about it because what are we going to do? Get off in Phoenix? Then we'd be stuck in Phoenix. But when you ask the flight attendant, oh yes, we're totally going to be there in time for you to make your connecting flight. Really? Really? Okay. Okay. Needless to say, we were not very optimistic. And the two guys that were sitting beside me, because I ended up in the middle of two people that I don't know, and Kevin was in the middle of two people he didn't know in the seats in front of me. The two guys that were beside me were also going to Birmingham by way of Houston, and so we were all going to be on the same flight, and we're all just kind of like, oh, okay, what are we going to do? We finally get to Houston. It's raining. they don't have a gate for us to pull into. Our flight was supposed to leave at, I don't know, like 8 o'clock. By the time we got there, it was 8:15, and we hadn't even found a gate. So I'm sitting there using the free Wi-Fi on my phone to constantly refresh the website for the airline, just to see if our flight had taken off yet, and our flight was delayed. So it's like, okay, well, we may still be able to make this. It's delayed. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere right now. Hopefully we can get out of this plane and get onto the plane we need to be in and get home. And so we're sitting there waiting. I keep refreshing the page. It seems that our flight has not taken off yet. So we're good. We hope. So they finally find a gate for us. And the flight attendants, say, okay, we have some people who are trying to make their connecting flights. So if you can just let them go first, because we're on a really tight schedule. Because they're on a really tight schedule. If you can just let them go first, that would be great. Do you want to know what people didn't do? Let the people who needed to catch their connecting flights go first. Of course not, because people are rude. So we finally get out of the plane. We are at gate 21. We have to get to gate 46, which is on the complete opposite side of the airport. So we book it. So we're basically running through the airport, trying to get to our gate. We get there. Kevin goes out to the lady who is taking the tickets and says, I think that's our flight. Is that the flight to Birmingham? And she goes, and she just kind of looks at him like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so he repeats himself. She says, plane broke. That's all she says. Plane broke. What the heck does that even mean? So we're still freaking out. I'm still refreshing the website, and it doesn't say that our flight has taken off. I go to the little screen that they have on, in every airport and look at the departures. Our flight is not on there, so I'm thinking our flight has left without us. We're stuck in Houston. This is great. Okay, so I said that we got off at gate 21. That was wrong. That was not gate 21. I think it was like gate 24 or something. But when I refreshed the page, it said that our flight was going to be taken off at gate 21. We needed to board at gate 21, and we were, of course, at gate 46. So we rush over to gate 21 thinking, oh my God, we're going to miss this plane. But the plane wasn't even there yet, because our original plane had, I don't know what had happened to it, but there was some problem. The plane broke, as the lady said. The plane broke. So they had to get a completely new plane for us. And so they had to get the plane ready. They had to get the pilot out of the old plane. He had to get into the new one. They had to move everything over. All of those people who were waiting, some people had even boarded already, had to move over to the new gate where we were. We didn't know all of this was happening until, we started seeing people walking over, because the plane had been delayed till like 8:45 or something. So we were there. We were on time. Everything was going to be okay. So they finally start boarding our plane about 9 o'clock. So like the first people who were boarding, they were getting on the plane, and one of the guys that was on our previous plane came up to us and said, by the way, you're going to want to go talk to the person at the ticket counter because they've put us on a different flight. Yeah. They just automatically assumed that we weren't going to make it, because we wouldn't have if the plane hadn't broken down. So they put us on a different flight. A morning flight. Which meant, what? We were going to have to stay in the airport or an airport hotel? Really? Really? I had to be at work the next morning. I kind of wanted to be home. So we had to go up to the desk and say, no, we do not want to take the morning flight. We want to take the original flight that we were supposed to take. Please put us on this flight. So we got our new boarding passes and everything was fine. And then we remembered, oh wait, are we actually going to get our luggage? Probably not. Great. So, yeah, so we got our new boarding passes. We got onto the flight. We got to Birmingham and went downstairs thinking, oh God, our luggage is not going to be here. One of us is going to have to come back in the morning because it's going to be on the morning flight from Houston. But it wasn't. It was there. So we got our baggage and we got the heck out of that airport. And then I had to drive home at 11 o'clock at night. Needless to say, I did not get to work at 8 o'clock the next morning. I called in and, well, actually, I emailed the night before because I didn't get to bed until 2 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm not going to be there at 8 o'clock because there were some delays. So, yeah, that was our travel adventure. It was crazy. And that was the end of our trip to Anaheim. We did lots of stuff. We got to do lots of cool things, and then we had some problems on the way home, but it was a great trip. I had a wonderful time. Minecon, Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, Knott's Berry Farm. It was all amazing, and I loved it. So, yeah. And that's it. That is all I have to talk about. Oh my gosh. I have talked so much about Anaheim. It's insane. And that's it. I'm going to edit this up, and hopefully it will be out this weekend. And, yeah. I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye!